Welcome, everybody. My name is Joshua Denny, and I have the honor and privilege of hosting today's webinar, which will be extraordinary because we have one of the very best, I think, anywhere in the world to do a presentation, number one, but number two, to be able to articulate what we're doing as a company, SDK, Meta, who we are, where we're going, and most importantly, what's in it for you, should you decide to participate with us in these early days. We suspect that the person who invited you here is pretty excited. They're most likely someone that you respect because the only people we've invited so far are some of the top leaders in the profession of peer-to-peer marketing, influencer marketing, e-commerce, and some other of the professions from around the world that are at the top of their game. And so that says a lot about you. We're going to respect your time. We're going to go through a lot of information relatively quickly, and we will have time for questions and answers at the end. So I'm gonna get myself out of the way and introduce a colleague of mine, business partner, and an individual I have tremendous respect for. He started his career in radio at 16. His work ethic is unlike anyone else I've met. He kind of rose through the ranks in that profession, then went into the seminar space and spoke all over the United States and helped generate an absolute fortune as a professional speaker. He then moved into one of the first people to adopt webinars and generated millions of dollars in that space. His love for helping and teaching people led him into the peer-to-peer network marketing arena, where he excelled and became one of the very top producers in the world. He is now partnering here with us at SDKmeta, and we're very privileged and honored that he is. So without further ado, allow me to introduce one of the best and someone that we feel very privileged to work with, Mr. Jerry Foster.
Wow. Thank you, Josh, very much. I really appreciate that introduction. Thanks so much for your leadership in your role as our Chief Revenue Officer. And I'm really excited to be here today and to share my point of perspective and my enthusiasm for everything that we are doing here with SDK Co and Meta. I want to jump right into it. I'm going to encourage you to do a few things. Number one is maybe take a few notes. A lot of this may be new information, new technology. So take a few notes as we go through. And then I also want you to think about what we continue to see happening in our world today. It's happening in the news. We see it almost on a daily basis. This is a news article I just found. If you've used T-Mobile, your data is on the dark web. And a great warning, right? Oh, watch out. You may be at high risk. And they just announced that information of almost 50 million people is available for sale on the dark web. You know, we're going to talk about a lot of different perspectives today, and you're going to learn about the mission, the company, who's behind it, the devices, all that stuff. But as you sit here today, as you listen to this, as you watch this, I want you to ask yourself a question. You know, how important is your privacy to you? How important is your data to you? And then another question I'll ask, Josh asked me when he introduced me to what it was that he was doing with SDK Co. He said, do you own your phone or does your phone own you? Now, I'm going to make you kind of a bold promise here today. If you've thought about these things, if you've seen some documentaries that are out there like Social Dilemma or The Great Hack or others, Coding Bias is another great one. You've sat back and it's sparked something in you. Maybe a little bit of fear, maybe a little bit of wanting to do something about it. I'm going to make you a very bold promise. By the time we finish today here in probably less than 45 minutes from now, you're going to have a solution to this situation. There's a convolution of things that are happening in our world today, a series of things that are happening in our world, and much of it affects us directly through those devices we carry with us every day, that we have installed in our homes every day. And I really want to give you an alternative. So my bold promise to you is that you will have a solution and you're going to understand how you can literally raise your hand and get your place in line for free today to be able to solve this issue for you, yourselves, your family, and your future as well. So welcome. Very excited that you're here. As Josh said, you're here for a very specific reason, because someone thought enough of you at this early stage in what we're doing to introduce you to it. So you fit a unique category of people. You're successful. You're an influencer of some sort. You are an early adopter of technology, or if you've ever heard that quote about Wayne Gretzky said, I don't know if you're a hockey fan or not, maybe you fit this category. I try to in my personal life and my business life as well. Wayne Gretzky, someone asked him one time why he's so good. And he said, I go where the puck will be, not where the puck is. And that's one of the things that I've kind of prided myself on in my professional career since the mid 90s is figuring out where the puck will be and then getting there first. And this is your opportunity to do exactly this. You're going to hear today why we exist and initial products that we're offering, hear about the company and this alpha phase that we're in right now, and kind of give you a roadmap of what we're going to accomplish over the next few years. We're going to talk about our alpha phase products as well as our beta phase products as well. Our meta leadership, who's at the helm, who's guiding this ship, ways that you can participate. And I certainly want you to be able to answer the question, what's in it for you? In fact, I know you're here for a specific reason, a specific purpose. And I know that ultimately over the next 45 minutes, you'll feel in your heart that you fit into one of two categories. You either see yourself as a user and a customer of SDK and SDKmeta and our products, or this sparks something in you that you're excited about, that you want to learn more about, and that you want to be a part of, and you want to get behind our mission of what we're doing and build a business, because there will be fortunes made in this arena of encryption of personal data and taking back monetization of that data. So our mission really here at SDK, which is the parent company, is that we build technologies that are empowering you and empowering your personal choice. So you have choice, you have ability to make choices. SDKmeta is our decentralized marketing organization. And what we do is we distribute products and we onboard customers into a more equitable web. We're calling it Web 3.0 and that whole ecosystem. And what we want to help you do, and what we're doing as a company, is reimagining humanity's relationship with technology. This relationship that we definitely have with amazing technology that we carry around in our pocket, we have installed in our homes. We want to present a viable, really more humane architecture and an operating system that gives you an alternative. You know, as I mentioned, you watch the documentaries, you hear the news, you read the headlines, and you think, well, but what am I going to do? Not carry a smartphone, not carry an iPhone or an Android? Of course not. You need an alternative, and we have an alternative to that status quo. And we truly believe that people are inherently free. We are born free. It's a God-given right to have our freedoms, and we should be able to choose and consent to the larger systems that we participate in. And I think one of the things that we all realize is at this point in our technological lives, there's a great cost for something that's free. There's a great cost for something that is free. We have given up our personal data on so many levels. I've heard that we are throwing off 1 gig of data every hour, and we're giving that data away. Not only is it what I consider to be an invasion of our privacy, that basically every phone call, text message, email, and otherwise is not private. I consider it to be public. If that's not enough, we have this new gold, this new oil, and it's data. In fact, you probably realize that the biggest richest companies in the world are data-driven companies. I'm talking about Google, I'm talking about Apple, Amazon, even technology companies like Tesla could be thrown in that mix. Certainly Microsoft, Facebook, they're driven by data. They're trillion-dollar companies, and they're mining that data, monetizing it much differently than, say, the oil companies of old. You know, if you owned land and you had a pool of oil, I don't know if that's the term you use, the oil underneath your land, and that oil company wanted it, they'd have to get your permission, they'd have to sign contracts and leases, and you'd be compensated for it. Not in the case of this data that we've freely given up so we could get a free email account. Are you kidding me? Free access to a social network. We've given that up. We've given it away. A quick example of how these companies work. Google in their early days came out with a voice authentication algorithm, and they needed millions of voice prints to be able to build this amazing technology. And if you remember back a few years, I know I'm dating myself a little bit, but we used to use something called directory assistance. And directory assistance from your home, your landline, or your office was, I don't know, a dime, maybe a quarter. But if you used it from your cell phone, directory assistance, which, let's face it, we were driving, we had the old flip phones or dumb phones, if you want to call it that. It wasn't a smartphone, and we wanted directory assistance. We would call directory assistance and get the phone number, and it would cost like $1 or so. Well, Google came out with this service, and widely publicized. They said, here's a free toll-free number you can call for free directory assistance. And not only is the directory assistance free, but we'll connect the call for you. And this is back in the days when we actually used to pay for long distance, that it wasn't just all inclusive, right? You dial a number, you don't care if it's local or long distance. And so this is amazing, right? So we thought, oh, wow, this is fantastic. It's free phone calls. And millions of us made those phone calls, and they were able to use those voice prints of millions of people and create incredible voice recognition algorithms and software. We're giving up something when we give it for free. And author Rebecca Costa wrote an amazing book called The Watchman's Rattle. And from that book, I quote her, she says, the reality is we have Paleolithic emotions, okay, like, caveman emotions, I guess she's saying. We're governed by medieval institutions. Turn on the news much lately, right? While we live amongst God-like technology. And the technology that we carry around, that we have installed in our homes, is phenomenal. And we are entering, or I believe in, one of the most important decades in the history of man, certainly as it relates to technology. Here's an amazing graphic from Gerd Linehardt. He wrote in something called Technology versus Humanity. And, there's a very complex diagram. In fact, I feel like I should make it available for a PDF download. In fact, you might want to do a screen capture of that. But it's really fascinating, showing this curve of where we're going over this 10-year period, 2020 to 2030, where data is the new oil and AI is the new electricity, artificial intelligence, and the Internet of Things is the new nervous system. And we need a new set of rules in this time period, as like the perfect storm is the technology and the violation of our privacy. And I mean, how many of you are just sick and tired of them making trillions of dollars? Well, you make none of it. What if you could decide what what data to give up, and what if you were compensated for that? Right? Isn't that a cool concept? Stick with me, and I'll talk a little bit about your ability to do that. So Meta is a new operating system for humanity. And I'll come back to the question that Josh asked me. Do you own your devices, or do they own you? I mean, see, literally we have a problem. We've got central IDs like the Apple ID and the Google ID for Android, and they've extracted all the data value from you, from your homes. Think about the Google Nest and what's Amazon called theirs, Alexa is the voice. I don't even know what the device, I forget what the device is called. That means I don't have one, right? The Ring cameras, the several different camera companies out there, the smart homes, they're all capturing all this data. And we don't have alternatives if we want to utilize the technology. And society is more polarized today from income inequality than any time in our history. And data really is the only asset that you have that you don't have the ability to currently to equitably monetize. Would you like to change that? Would you like to change any of those? Well, the solution is that we take ownership of our digital lives. And we're going to do that by owning our data that is encrypted. And with a Meta ID, it's secured on the blockchain using Cardano and the Cardano blockchain. Now, if you're familiar much with the blockchain and cryptocurrency or digital currencies, you've probably heard the name Cardano, a company based in Wyoming. They are the third, literally the third largest cryptocurrency blockchain company in the world. And I think I looked earlier today, they're over 60 billion in market cap. Fantastic company, amazing technology. Charles Hopkinson, who runs the company, one of the most brilliant minds in blockchain. We're using that level of encryption and that level of technology. And we're really going to connect organizations with consumer products, with digital collectibles. Have you heard of this NFT craze that's sweeping the world? And DeFi services as well. DeFi meaning decentralized finance, and DeFi services that offer P2P income opportunities so that you can literally create an additional income from helping other people take advantage of this amazing technology. And then our mymetashop.com is going to be a place where you can publish, own, trade, and even store these NFTs and digital assets. And then let's talk about what's in it for you. In addition to all of that, yes, you have the ability to earn commissions, royalties, and rewards in fiat currency. Fiat currency is just your government's currency, or in cryptocurrency, maybe in ADA. ADA is the symbol for Cardano. Easily convertible. It's something that I do every single day. I spend cryptocurrency everywhere I go using this. I'm covering up the Visa logo with this Visa card right here, easily accepting and spending cryptocurrency. So let me give you a little bit of a roadmap over the next really year. Well, I guess we're time's flying, right? Between now and March here, this timeline here, this roadmap. Right here, you're in alpha, and I don't have my little highlighter out. If I did, you can see you're here in alpha, right? That's where we're at right now. Remember what I said earlier? You're here for a very specific reason, invited here by someone who cares about you and believes that you would be a good fit for this time frame. And then you can see on or about September 15th, we're going to have your opportunity to lock in your spot. You get the ability to sign up for your spot literally today for free. And then over the next few weeks, we're going to have your ability to lock that in for $99. Think of that as the fee to be a decentralized marketing partner, kind of like a distributor, right? We use the term decentralized marketing partner, or DMP, if you see that on the slides. Then around about October 15th, you'll have the opportunity to make a deposit on your smartphone encrypted private device. Pretty cool. Can't wait to get our hands on it. That will be in the beta time frame, which is gonna be most likely and hopefully by the end of October. And we're gonna have about that 60-day run there where we're going to actually have our first NFT drop. And if you're not familiar with NFT, it stands for non-fungible token. Think of it as a digital asset that you own or own a portion of. Sometimes they're selling shares in them, and you have the ability to hold that on your smart device. That's going to be about the middle of December. And then you probably heard of CES. We have a big launch and an announcement at the Consumer Electronics Show in January. It's certainly the biggest electronic show of the year in the world. Big announcement there. And then the big crescendo of this time frame here that you're looking at in this roadmap is our debut at the World's Fair in Dubai, February 28th through March 3rd. And this is all revolving around this amazing technology. And of course, the center of that, the brain of that, is the MetaSim, which is going to be shipping in late October. It offers global connectivity with zero vulnerability. Zero. We're calling it the MetaSim, and it's going to go into the MetaZero because it has zero vulnerability. Now, it doesn't have a phone number. Most of us are used to a 10-digit phone numbers. That's literally an unnecessary relic, and it's one of the biggest points of vulnerability and attack. You and I are communicating right now without a 10-digit phone number. Most of my communication on a daily basis, both business and personal now, is over what's called VoIP, or voice over internet protocol, right? You probably used it. We're using it certainly right now. And then the SIM, that SIM card that goes in your current phone is a circuit that holds your data. It authenticates your identity, connection to networks, and they come with an authentication key. So you brought your phone. You don't actually own it because you have unmitigated access to that data and that information in your current situation. The way MetaZero is going to work is it works exclusively on our fully encrypted and anonymous network with the MetaSim. And now that's a global VoIP, voice over internet protocol. It's available in, I think it's 180 countries, well over 100 countries. And with the MetaZero, you have the ability then to literally start a plan as little as $9.99 a month, as little as $10 a month. And then let's think beyond that a little bit, and I'll talk about it a few times. But what if you had the ability to monetize your phone, use your phone to monetize and actually earn more than $10 a month? Then now you're not paying for your phone. Your phone's actually paying you, right? That's one of the options that you're going to have with SDKco. So that SIM is going to be using an end-to-end private LTE network. We've all heard of LTE and the speed that it brings to us. And all of it is in-house managed. It's not outsourced, which would be a huge point of vulnerability, right? Everything managed in-house. You see it listed there. The mobile operator, the networking, the storage, the servers, virtualization, operating system, middleware, runtime, data, application, all housed in-house, all protected, all thanks to the MetaZero, which, as I said, is going to be shipping in late October. I think very reasonably priced compared to what you pay for a quality smartphone with a quality camera and abilities now. You see the MSRP is $999, $1,000, but our preferred customers get it for $799, and the decentralized marketing partners actually get theirs for $749. That's the cost for one. You see the discount for two goes down to $729. 3+ is $699. Remember, this is using a new operating system. That's why all of this is possible, from the encryption and the security and the privacy, is because we're using a new operating system that's been created for this new digital era that we're in right now, with a zero attack surface, a verified boot, triple password protection, multiple levels of encryption, the secure key store with trusted updates. And if you want to learn more, if you really want to deep dive on the technology and how it's so phenomenal and why it's so phenomenal, then the person that invited you to the webinar here, they have a website link that they can give you where you can read more about the technical features and details, and you can really deep dive by downloading the white paper. Or for those of you who don't care to dive deep, but you have a hard time going to sleep. No, I'm just kidding. But it's very, very technical, much more technical than the average person needs. What I find is I've been sharing our amazing technology and what we're doing with SDKmeta. I found that most people don't want to know how to build a watch. They just want to know what time it is. They want their data to be safe and secure, know that that's true. They want to be able to take back control of their data, stop being taken advantage of. And if the opportunity presents itself and they choose to, yeah, possibly monetize some of that data. Now that's the MetaZero. Again, shipping in late October, coming late and shipping late in Q3 of next year. So Q3 is what? July, August, September. Is that right? No. Yeah. June, July, August, right? So, probably July or August of 2022 is our Meta 1. Now the Meta 1 would be a replacement. Okay. The Meta 0 is an additional device. Some of you are not going to want to give up your 10-digit phone number. You're not going to want to give up your social media and some of those things. But we don't want that in our Meta 0, right? With any vulnerability. The Meta 1, it's a dual SIM. So you'll have the MetaSim, and you'll also have a SIM from whichever carrier that you're currently using now. And you can pop that right in that dual slot. So you'll be able to kind of wall off what you want to wall off on the 0 side, but still have access to things that some people just at this point in their lives can't live without. I know people that can't live without their Instagram or their TikTok or their Facebook. You want to access that, you can on the Meta 1, on that Meta side, without jeopardizing all the security that's on the Meta 0 side. Now you look at this is complex stuff, right? This is huge high tech. We're talking about a peer-to-peer blockchain enabled economy that we're in today. You've got the market that's available to us from the NFTs and the digital goods and the rest. And then you've got the network and that personal agency that we have to pick, whether we want to be private or not, and want to have that privacy and that data being protected. And then the income opportunities that presents itself. And then you have the Meta OS, which is cutting edge, unlike anything else out there in the world. And all of that comes together with the mymetashop.com. And you see there that structure and everything built on that spine that is the Cardano network, and all the technology that's gone into creating one of the premier blockchain technologies in the world today. So we're going to accomplish a lot in really a relatively short period of time. And so you sit there and ask yourself, well, how could they do that? How could they accomplish that much in that amount of time? Well, the first answer to that question, it has to do with a leadership team at the corporate level that I believe is second to none. And I could literally go on and give a 45-minute presentation on who our leadership team is, one by one, and the amazing background that they bring and the successes that they've had in their corporate career, and all their credibility and all their resume. And we don't have time for that today. Just know this is the dream team. I mean, literally, you're looking at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 people there. Really the backbone of the leadership team, of course, driven and being steered by our CEO, Chris Snook, who's phenomenal. I've known Chris for over a year now. I've come to respect him not only as someone who's an expert in technology and the blockchain. He just recently came out of a huge exit in technology, did very well with that company, and very well. He's a best-selling author, an Amazon best-selling author, with a gentleman by the name of Travis Wright. If you're familiar with blockchain, you might know that name. But he's brilliant when it comes to organizational structure and the vision of where this is going, where we need to go. He's literally so much of an expert that he was invited to speak on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. And what's better than being asked to speak once? They actually ask him to come back, and he's speaking on DeFi and the blockchain and money governance. So he certainly is a world-renowned expert. You also have my great friend and mentor, Josh Denny, who's our Chief Revenue Officer. Who's a legend in the direct sales industry, and also has done amazing things in brick and mortar and in traditional business as well, both as company owner and investor. Rich rounds out our co-founders, the 3 co-founders. He's our COO with an amazing background in business and his success. And again, I could go on and on about each of them. I could tell you about Jeff's work and how he's the first Caucasian intern at a major record company, and most recently 8 years as vice president at MasterCard. Just know these people are coming from the best of the best backgrounds with billions of dollars in sales 12 plus very successful exits from companies that they created or co-founded. We're talking about ex executives of HP, Hewlett Packard, Goldman Sachs, Sony. Cheryl Goodman just recently left a C-level position at Sony. Qualcomm, as I mentioned, Jeff was at MasterCard, Plexus, Apple. And then you look at Ron Baptiste and Mr. Wendell, they have 29 Grammys to their credit, and there just isn't anybody in the entertainment world that they couldn't reach out to and make a phone call to. So these are the kind of people that you want guiding a movement like this. And that's what I really feel like we have here. It's more than a company. It's more than a technology. It's a movement to take back control of our data, our privacy, and to be able to monetize that on many levels. And so not only do we have in-house and an amazing leadership team, but out of house, we have just a phenomenal partner network as well. And we are tapping into literally the best of the best of the best in terms of technology partners and operational partners, so that we can bring all of this to speed and bring it to fruition in a very short period of time. Several companies there, I'm sure you recognize, others you may not. I can tell you that they've all got amazing credentials and they've been vetted and are going to allow us to be able to do what we want to do, what we will do in the time frame that we're going to do it in. Of course, I mentioned Cardano, which I think I would lead that list, certainly with Cardano. So that's the what, and that's the how, and that's the who. And really, I guess what's left is, maybe one of the most important reasons you came here today, and that's to learn what's in it for you. Well, I want to talk about our compensation plan, and I believe the way it's been created and how it's going to work is absolutely phenomenal. In fact, if you're interested in a deep dive on this commission plan, I'm going to spend a few minutes on it here, but if you're interested in a deep dive, then you need to get back to the person that invited you here today, because we have an opportunity for you to watch and learn a very detailed explanation of this compensation plan. So make sure and get back to the person that invited you here today if you're interested in that very deep dive. Just don't understand, first of all, that we're basically talking about a peer-to-peer direct sales model that's a two-level affiliate system, where any of the dollars, the revenue, the sales that come from your efforts, your work that you put in, you get paid 15%. That, whether that be on a phone, whether that be on the data plan on a monthly basis, NFT sales, app sales, other things that you'll have in the future, 15%. And then when you help someone else get started, then they will make that 15%. But as your level one personally enrolled person, you'll make 10% on all of their, what we call CV, or on their volume, the commissionable volume. And then it goes one level deeper as well. If they help, the person that you help sign up signs someone else up, then they of course would make the 15%. The person that you signed up, they're on your level one, is going to make the 10%, and you would make the 5%. And one of the things that you're going to love about this compensation plan is that the commissions, bonuses, and overrides are calculated on a very favorable commissionable volume. For example, the MetaZero I talked about that has a price of $7.29 for the DMPs, right? Well, you get paid that 15 or the 10 or the 5% on that $7.29 price that a DMP pays. And you look at the MetaSim and the monthly service. The monthly service, as I said, starts at $9.99, goes up to $39.99. We'll make round numbers $10 to $40. And then you can see the math on that at 15% is $1.50 a user at $10. Be 4 times that if they're a $40 customer, depending upon the amount of data that they consume. There are many layers to the compensation. Again, I could do 45 plus minutes on just this. If you want that, remember I told you how you can get access to that deep dive. What I want you to understand is that we have some amazing additional bonuses that you can earn. And in fact, in your notes, if you're taking notes, I want you to write down Alpha Global Bonus Pool. Alpha Global Bonus Pool. You see it, the first bullet point here, Alpha Global Quarterly Bonus. Well, that Global Bonus Pool, that bonus quarterly. This for those of us who are here to stay helping the company lay not even the foundation. It's like, clear the ground so that the foundation can even be put in place. There's work to be done here, and I think it's simple, but it's easy. And those of us here catch the and want to be a part of this, have the opportunity to make a big difference in people's lives. And the company, as a result, is going to make a big difference in our lives. We're literally going to make 2% of the global revenue of the company forever. 2% will be put into a pool, and then we have the ability to earn points in that pool over the next 60 to 75 days during this alpha period. There are other additional bonuses and bonus pools that we're able to take advantage of. And you see the theoretical scenarios on the screen there, where you can make 6 to 12K a year to 400K to $1 million a year, depending upon a volume, depending upon your willingness to work, depending upon the network that you have, the network that you create, the influencer level that you are. There is so much here and so many great ways to take advantage of this, but I want you to keep your eye on the prize right now in this alpha period, which is that Alpha Global Bonus Pool. As I said, 2% of the company's global sales goes into that pool, and you have the ability to earn a point in that pool, but you can earn multiple points. Here's what you got to do. Just remember two numbers, 24 and 250. 24 people that you would directly enroll, 24 phones, 24 people, 24 people that you sign up, and then a total of 250 MetaZero sales, right? 250 of the MetaZero phones that are sold, either by you personally or by the team that you enrolled. And just know there's just one asterisk there, and you see it there on the screen. No more than 125 of those 250 can come from any one of the 24 that you enroll. Okay, so those are the three numbers, I guess you want to remember. 24, 250 total, and you can count up to 125 from any one of those 24 teammates that you brought in. There's a lot here. At this point, if you're leaning forward, as I'm sure you probably are, there are two ways that you can participate right now. And it's time for you to take action right now and sign up for free and lock in your spot right now. It's free. There's no potential loss. It's free, right? You have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain by signing up. So make sure, if you already have the ability to sign up because someone sent you their link, get signed up. It's your name and your email. That's it. Create a username and password. Big deal. If you don't have that link, if you don't have that ability to sign up yet, then get back with the person that invited you here and then let them know which of the two groups you're in. Remember, I said when we first got started, there are only two groups of people here today. You're going to fit into one of two categories, either as a customer that you're sick and tired of giving up your privacy, and you're sick and tired of these companies taking advantage of you and monetizing the data when you don't have the ability to monetize that. Again, what if the phone could actually pay you? What if you could use it to monetize your data, or use it as a high-tech device like a node, and it actually uses the computing power of the phone to not just pay your bill, but give you some extra, right? If you like that sort of thing, but you're not interested in building the business, then you sign up and you be a customer for us, and you get great benefit from that. For those of you that this really sparked something in you from a business perspective, you want to be a part of something that I believe is changing the world and is empowering people to take back control, then you want to become one of our DMPs, decentralized marketing partners. Okay. It's free today to get. You don't have to commit to one or the other today. Make sure you get signed up right now. Get your spot in line. We've signed up over 6,000 people in less than 2 weeks. That's the level this is going. We have a limited number of devices. I've heard a couple of different numbers. I know it's a very limited number of devices, so you want to get your spot in line. If you choose to join us as a decentralized marketing partner, then in the next few weeks, you'll be asked to pay the $99 membership fee to be a decentralized marketing in the decentralized marketing organization. And that's basically your business kit, right? What we used to call business in a box. It's all online now. So it gives you access to all the commissions and the bonus pools and those things. So take action, get started right now. As I wrap up, let me give you 3 websites. If you want to dig into what we have available to you from a marketing standpoint, you want to invite people to the next call. We do these calls Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific, and that's 5 p.m. Eastern. There's some tools in there that can help you from a marketing perspective. Your back office, once you've signed up, and again, whether you don't have to commit today to customer or decentralized marketing partner, you'll have a back office. That's the back office login that you see right there in the middle of the screen. And then if you want to get all the latest information that the company is sending out about the calls, about that deep dive on the commission training, remember I talked about, or anything going on, then make sure and subscribe to the Telegram channel that you see listed right here. I'll leave those up on screen. Again, I'm just going to encourage you to take action on this, to get started. Thank you for being here today. And Josh, at this point, buddy, I'll turn it back over to you. If we want to have time for maybe some Q&A. Or Larry, if you want to take the helm.
Yeah, Jerry. Sorry about that. I was on mute.
Sorry, guys. I'm
you there, Josh? Okay, I'll let you go ahead.
No, I'm on with my attorney, so I apologize. They called me. I've got a little thing I'm doing right now. Can you guys handle some of the questions? And I'll be right there.
Yeah. We got it, Josh. So let's see what's going on here. Any questions? You guys have got a Q&A button down at the bottom of the screen there. Just go in there. If you've got any questions, type them in, and we'll get them answered for you.
Yeah, if we don't have the answer, we'll get them, right? I mean, certainly, Larry.
Absolutely.
And hey, Larry, while you're here, I'm looking forward to learning more about you, getting to know you better. Why don't you take 2 or 3 minutes and talk a little bit about your background and your role, and then as Larry's talking, please, if you have any questions, type that in for us. But Larry, just talk, briefly about your background and your role as EVP of technology. It's such a critical role.
Yeah, sure, no problem, Jerry. I've done a lot in technology over the last 25, 30 years. Seen a lot happen. Participated in drinking too much of the Kool-Aid, like we all have to date. And made things where they are, but it's that's where kind of this team, we've all come together, and seeing that there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way to live. Got to be a better way for our information, our data, and everything that Jerry had just talked about, and bringing that back home, taking control of that again. And that's a great responsibility, right? It's not easy. That's why we gave it over to big tech companies, encryption and all that stuff that we trusted that people were going to have our backs and watch things. But, I've worked for some pretty, good tech companies in the past, big ones back in the day, Northern Telecom and back in the 90s and, bleeding edge at the time, up until recently, done some work with, Goldman Sachs and Apple and their Apple Card programs, and seeing what they're doing there, and driving all of that stuff from a global standpoint of doing the technology and building it out, and the security around it and the reliability of all the systems, as well as some stuff in the security side, with AVG technologies, antivirus, the protection companies of the world back in the early 2000s. Saw a lot of things on the back end, a lot of things happening. But where all that kind of comes together here with Meta and SDK is that the systems, the operating systems, the security that we're building, that we're building in and adding to make sure that what we are building, it stays in your control. You as a person, you control the encryption. We don't want to manage that and do that for you. That was the problem with the Googles and the Apples of the world today. Because at some point it becomes too big and it's too tempting, and that's what's happened, and that's where we are today. But the systems that we're building out, they are world class. The partners that we're working with, the team that we're building, at present, they know what they're doing. They understand how to build this stuff out, how to do it decentralized. The partners, Cardano, the vision coming out of that and what's possible and capable there, not just from the blockchain side, but the security of it, the decentralized IDs, and all of this that we're building all of this to make it as simple as possible for any end user, not just a high tech, a person or somebody that's, really wanting to do privacy, but just a normal person as well, for them to be able to participate, and to bring this stuff back home and back into their control and their dominion every day. So, I don't know what else to say, Jerry.
That's great.
That's a little bit, of what we're doing there. It's definitely, like you said, it's very complicated from one aspect, but then when you start to break it down and you really get into it and you start thinking about it back just from a normal day-to-day perspective, it's actually very, it becomes very simplified, because you've got to take it and relate it back to life, and how does that affect each one of us every day? And the technology should be there to, serve us, not, us serve it.
Thank you. That is it right there.
Yep.
The whole mission in one sentence. The technology should serve us.
Correct.
Not the other way around. That's even a better way to put it, I think, than do you own your device or does your device own you? And Larry, thank you for that. I appreciate it, and that background, and it's thank you for what you do on a daily basis, because it's a critically important role that you're playing on the technology side. So listen, you came here today for a reason, and I hope you liked what you heard. And even if you kind of sorta is ringing a bell with you, get signed up. It doesn't cost anything. Get your place in line. You can do it in 2 minutes or less. And you get the link to sign up from the person that invited you here. Okay. And go to that link, and it'll ask for your name, your email, and then you create a username and password. That's it. And then over the next few weeks, you can decide customer or decentralized marketing partner. For me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, even if you on a part-time basis just want to share this with people that you like, love, and respect, listen, they want their privacy. They want to be in control. They want the technology to work for them rather than vice versa. And like I said, this can be as complex as you make it, or for me, I just like to keep it simple. I'm kind of a keep it simple, silly kind of guy, And like I said, I think most people are that way, that they don't want to know how to build a watch. Don't get caught up in trying to explain how to build a watch. Let them know this is how you tell time, right? And so keep it simple, share the message, bring them to your website. Once you get signed up, you'll have your website and your address. Bring them to your site. There's a recorded video there. Invite them on these daily webinars, which I'm going to let the cat out of the bag here, but soon there'll be more than one a day live that you can give them a choice of, would this time work or would another time be better? And you give them both those times in the near future. So right now it's one. In the near future, it'll be two.
Jerry, we can tell them now, because it's going to start next week. So if you want to tell them the new time zone.
Awesome. Well, yeah. So what we're going to do every day, Monday through Friday, is this one, which is right now 2 p.m. daylight, Pacific Daylight Time, and 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, right? And then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're going to do a 9 a.m. Pacific, which would be noon Eastern. Fill in the blanks if you're in the middle. And then Tuesday and Thursday will be 6 p.m. Pacific and that will be then 9 p.m. Eastern. All right. So twice a day, Monday through Friday. And I don't know, I'm going to twitch Josh's arm and see if we can possibly even do one on Saturday in the future. But for now, Monday through Friday. Okay.
So Jerry, I think we got a couple other questions here that popped up. One of them Donald had about the first version of the phone being with a new phone number. The Meta Zero will not have a phone number. It is, if you want to think about it, like, I think Jerry had mentioned, it's like us here on Zoom, communicating and talking. There's no phone number with any of that. It's peer-to-peer over that private LTE network that, that Meta Zero will connect into. So you will not have to have a 10-digit phone number or anything associated with that SIM on the Meta Zero. So, but then with the Meta One, when that comes out, you can still have the private, the MetaSim, the private conversations, everything encrypted, and then you can add in your choice of current, cell phone carriers into the second SIM slot there, so that you use your normal 10-digit number to communicate with people that are still on that system. So, and then I think there's maybe one here that maybe
there's a follow-up from Donald on restricted apps. Yeah.
Yes. There will be on the Meta Zero, there will be a tray, there on the screen, if you will, of apps that we are pre-approving and vetting to go into that, such as Signal, Telegram, that you can get others to get onto so that you can communicate with them. If they're not using a Meta Zero in communicating peer-to-peer with them, you'll be able to use Signal, reach out to them, get them to install it. If they're already on it, fine, then that's your way to communicate, video, voice chat, whatever you want to do there with them. And there will be a couple of other apps, that will also be in that tray for you to access data for other things. But that will be very limited because all that's walled off. So that the attack vector is zero there. So
yeah, very well done. Very, very well explained. Now, okay, so Angel asked about the alpha bonus pool qualification. So Josh, are you listening in? And Larry, you understand it as well. I want to make sure I'm answering this correctly. So
I'm listening in.
Angel asked, so for the qualification, we have 24 personally enrolled. And then you have 250 phones sold by you or anywhere under you. And then he says 125 count maximum per leg. So here's the question. If one leg does 125 phone sales, one leg, we think in terms of a leg, like you sign up 24 people, each one of those can be called a leg, right? So one leg does 125 phone sales, okay? And then if you have two legs that do that, so for a total of 250, okay, you still have your other qualifier, which is 24. So you would have the 250, 125, 125. And even if all the others didn't sign up anybody, didn't enroll anyone, they still at least have their position. So you'd have 125, 125, and then 22 more. That should be all they need for the qualifier for the pool, correct?
Yes. From my understanding,
that is correct. That is correct.
Okay. Great question, Angel, and shows that you've got your eye on the prize, eye on the ball.
Yeah, and one other here that Les had put in, if they don't have Signal or Telegram, then if they don't have a Meta Zero, the first phone coming out the Meta Zero, if they don't have a Meta Zero and they do not have or are unwilling to install and sign up and get on Telegram or Signal, there's not going to be any way from that Meta Zero to communicate with them. Thus why I think Jared mentioned as well, the Meta Zero isn't really a replacement for your existing phone. And from that standpoint, because you've got some people that don't want to use those apps, they won't sign up for it, whatever their reasonings are, that's their own. But so you'll have your normal daily driver phone that you do all the stuff you do today on. The Meta Zero is a device that will kind of hopefully start to wean you from some of that intrusive technology that we're living with every day, and start to get you to see how to secure things, what it is again to live without some of that stuff, and to start to move off of it. And then, like I said, when the Meta 1 comes out, at the end of next year, end of Q3, and whatnot, you'll have that ability to go back and have that phone that can do everything you want, but with it being with a Meta ID on it, not a Google ID, not an Apple ID, not they're stealing everything that you do and every app that you're involved in and all that. It'll have a lot more security built into that lifestyle mode on the other dual boot side of that phone. So
Yeah, so
you'll have a
again,
lot more options. So.
Perfectly explained, Larry. The key thing to keep in mind is, again, the Meta Zero, not considered to be a replacement. You probably, like many of us now, carry around two phones. Here's one, and the other one, the second one is the camera that you're seeing me on. So that's not a big deal. A lot of people carry around two phones. And the other thing to keep in mind is when you have the Meta Zero, when the Meta 1 comes out, you can trade it in. Okay, you're going to get a significant discount when you trade it in, and then we're actually going to repurpose those. I think this is huge, and Chris, our CEO, talks about this. We're going to repurpose those and provide that Meta Zero to someone who otherwise couldn't afford it, we're going to have several ways that we want to make a difference in this world, right, and help the income inequality. That's one simple way we're going to do it, is repurposing those Meta Zeros that get traded in. So I don't see any more questions, guys. We've gone a good amount of time here, and I just once again want to encourage you, please don't put it off. If you have the link, sign up right now. It takes 2 minutes. If you don't have the link, call or text the person that invited you here today and say, hey man, send me your link so I can get my spot in line. Doesn't cost you anything, absolutely no risk to you. And then you can spend the next few weeks, if you want to do that, deciding if you want to be a customer or a decentralized marketing partner. Thanks for being here today. Really appreciate you, value your time. And thanks for the questions and all the nice comments. Appreciate it. And everybody have a fantastic rest of the day. We'll see you next time.